What was a moment in your life that caused you to wake up?
I had many pivotal moments. One of them for me was when I had a burnout, just when I had my second child, and we had a lot of renovations in the house, and I had a busy job. Our child wasn't sleeping much. I wasn't sleeping. So I was just totally exhausted, really exhausted, but still pleasing and doing everything as being wanted to be the perfect mother, perfect wife, perfect employee, whatever. I mean, it was just too much. That was a very important moment that I was just cooking and just couldn't stand on my legs anymore and fell down. And it was really like, how could this have happened? I mean, I was always somebody filled with energy and it was gone, totally gone. So that was a very important lesson for me. Like Marlys, from now on, you're going to learn to listen to your body. You're going to learn to listen to what you need as well. Otherwise, you cannot be all these other roles. You cannot fulfill all these things and you cannot live your own life. You cannot even stand on your legs. So that was really important. And from then on, I realized how important living your life, being connected with body, mind, and soul is. And from there on, my journey started with really like, I need to learn. I want to learn as much as possible about all these three.
Welcome to Reclaim Your Life with Irina, the podcast where we dive into real stories of healing, growth, and reclaiming happiness. Today I'm joined by radiant Marlys Stradmeijer, writer, mentor, and inner compass coach, who shares how burnout became her awakening. From the pages of her new book, Shine, to the magical starfish moment, Marlys reveals how tuning into your body, mind, and soul can illuminate your path to fulfillment. You don't want to miss this inspiring conversation. Let's dive in. Get ready to reclaim your life, discover inspiring stories, practical tools, and the path to true happiness. This is Reclaim Your Life with Irina. Let's begin the journey. Hello and welcome to Reclaim Your Life with Irina. Today we have a special guest, Marlys Stradmeijer. She is a writer, mentor, and inner compass coach, author of the Dutch book, The Kunst van het Stralen, Shining from Within, and Divine Love. Marlys loves to travel and lives in the Netherlands, Europe. And in a couple of days, June 26th, she will launch her newest book called Shine. Welcome, Marlys. It is a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Irina. I really love to be here. I don't have many podcasting experiences, but I really, really love to be interviewed by you and just see where it goes. So Thank you for inviting me. Wonderful.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So please share with us who you are.
Who I am. That's always a good question. It changes every day, though. But the inside is always the same. Yeah, inner compass coach, a mentor, writer, and most of all, somebody who really loves to shine my own light and invite other people to do the same. And because of that, I am can proudly announce that in 2 days, my newest book will be born. Yeah, will be launched. It's called Shine. Yeah, this is it. And it's all about authentic stories to inspire and activate the reader to shine from within.
Yeah, I love it. Congratulations. And I can't wait to hear it. It's been awesome to be kind of in our starting writing journeys when we were just thinking and brainstorming ideas, and been amazing hearing you, like the passages that you have written. So I can't wait to finally see the whole thing come to life. That's incredible.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was such a pleasure to be part of each other's journey and in just letting it evolve and be open to see what once wanted to be written through us. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you passionate about?
So many things. Passionate about enjoying life, see the beauty of life. I'm passionate about sharing my insights and inspirations with others. I'm passionate about dancing flamenco, the Spanish dance. I used to do it. I'm not doing it a lot anymore, but I love to watch it because it's really a dance that comes from the soul. And what else? Oh, I love to be with just with friends and family. And there's so many things I love. And I can always, every day, I'm open to see and feel the beauty of life. Just, it can be in really small things that already make me very happy and grateful, like a butterfly in the garden or, that kind of things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. What makes your heart sing?
When people are pure and when they really listen to their heart. My heart sings when I see honesty and purity. It can be, of course, with a baby or people, seeing people who are really in love or seeing somebody who shares their authentic truth. All these things make my heart sing.
Beautiful, beautiful. What makes you happy?
Question is what not? No, many things make me happy. When I can share my insights, when I can be me, I can be happy seeing people happy that I love. I can be very happy when I really feel touched, when something is really coming into my heart. And I can also be happy when somebody has cooked a very nice meal for me, like just done something with love or surprised me with just a nice idea. And yeah,
Awesome.
like
Awesome.
not so long ago on Mother's Day, I got a nice postcard from my two children who are already students and grown up. And they really had this nice present for me, just taking me out and eating, oysters and bubbles, something like that. It was something totally unexpected. But reading that postcard with expression of their love for me and just that they had organized this little treat, a little present, little thing that we would spend together. That that would make really was making my heart sing. Yeah, it was really making me happy.
Beautiful, beautiful. What was the moment in your life that caused you to wake up?
Ooh, I had many pivotal moments, I can say, and I think we all have. Always the question is, do you recognize them and what do you do with this moment? And sometimes these pivotal moments or yeah, reclaiming your life moments are not, well, often they're unexpected. I think you agree with that one. And they can be painful. But to see the treasure from that moment afterwards, that's often, yeah, it's often good to realize. One of them for me was a pivotal moment, or such a moment was when I had a burnout, just when I had my second child, and we had a lot of renovations in the house, and I had a busy job. Our child wasn't sleeping much. I wasn't sleeping. So I was just totally exhausted, really exhausted, but still pleasing and doing everything as wanted to be the perfect mother, perfect wife, perfect employee, whatever. I mean, it was just too much. That was a very important moment that I was just cooking and just couldn't stand on my legs anymore and fell down. And it was really like, how could this have happened? I mean, I was always somebody filled with energy and it was gone, totally gone. So that was a very important lesson for me. Like Marlys, from now on, you're going to learn to listen to your body. You're going to learn to listen to what you need as well. Otherwise, you cannot be all these other roles. You cannot fulfill all these things and you cannot live your own life. You cannot even stand on your legs. So that was really important. And from then on, I realized how important living your life, being connected with body, mind, and soul is. And from there on, my journey started with really like, I need to learn. I want to learn as much as possible about all these three.
Yeah.
So I did, yeah. And I share all my knowledge with the people who want to listen, who are open for it. Yeah.
Wow, incredible. Yeah, thank you. And you're right, we operate in those state of beings and we gotta know how to maintain energy. Otherwise we can get depleted and miserable in that.
Yeah. And we all have this present of life when we were born. And it's just, what do you want to do with it? I mean, your time, your life, it's so precious. And if you only live, just if you are more aware of how to be, how you say that, behind your own steering wheel, the manager of your life. If you know how to listen to your inner compass, that's such a gift in life, in every situation in life, not only in work, but also in the other choices that you want to make. Yeah.
Totally, you're right. What were the three biggest lessons you learned as a result of this wake up?
Well, the first, of course, to listen to body, mind, and soul, that these all three are important. Not only the mind, but also the body is giving signals, and the body is telling us so much. And if you are open to communicate with it and you learn about the insights and the gifts, and sometimes it's also telling you what to do or not, what not to do, or we call that intuition, of course. Yeah, that's the second one, listening to my intuition, knowing by this body, mind, and soul connection, I am more open to my intuition, and it's also telling me more and more. Sometimes I say this intuition that we all have, you can see it as this a little voice that first starts with little whispers. But if you are willing to listen, it starts to knock more often on your door, like, hey, I have something for you. And if you listen to it, then it's communicating more and more with you. It's like a muscle. We can all train it. You just have to know how. Yeah. And the third one is realizing this is my life, and I am the one who has to facilitate my dreams. I am the one who have to take action. So yes, my intuition gives me all kinds of signals of things that are good for me. But if I don't take the courage to listen and to take action and to take steps, I cannot blame anyone but myself.
Totally. I love those lessons, and so important listening to your body when body is telling you it needs rest or it needs movement or it needs water, and responding to those things. And then intuition is so important as well. Oftentimes we hear the loud voice of our ego screaming when we are mistreated, when something doesn't go right. But intuition is also always there as well if we choose to slow down and listen to that quiet voice inside of us.
So
and
true.
Finally, realizing that this is your life. It's up to you to decide what you want to create and how you want to live.
So true. Yeah. And I also found a different way of listening, or of this body-mind-soul connection, about my mind. Often, at first, it thought my mind was in charge and the rest had to do what my mind was thinking, something like that. I mean, I think a lot of people work or live that way. But I think maybe when I look back, the last couple of years, it's turned around. Like, it's almost like my compass, inner compass, or my intuition, of how you want to call it, that is in charge, and my mind helps in fulfilling the things that my inner compass directs me to. Do you understand what I mean? So it's my mind is helping, it's facilitating, it's helping, it's making things real. But the real me is not my mind. It's the whole package.
That's right. I love it. And you're so right. Oftentimes our mind can sabotage if we are just focus on the mind and don't do anything else. It can cause problems. But when you switch, when you reverse, and then you use mind as a tool to help facilitate the change, help execute your vision, your mission, your inner calling, intuition, then it becomes so much better that way. But it takes a while to get there, to switch, to do that way.
It's a choice.
Yes.
And it can already start with, I always say, if you just change a little or take away a little stone then it starts flow. The flow comes in. Our mind maybe makes it big and like, ooh, that's hard. But maybe it's not hard at all. It's a choice.
Yeah, you're right. Now that you had your
now I hear your voice was like, ooh. Really? What was happening there, Irina? Was your mind telling you something like, don't dare to do this, Irina? Something like that? What was happening there?
I don't know. But you're right, our mind can cause problems as opposed to helping us. So we gotta navigate away from that.
Yeah. Oh, it was interesting what was happening with you. But I'm not in a coaching session. I'm sorry. I will not. Just noticed it.
Now that you have had a wake up call and you learned your lessons, what is your mission now?
My mission, I found out my mission when I was first after this wake up call. I did all kinds of I said trainings and things to learn more about the body. I started with the body, and then I learned on mind already. I have been to university and everything, so the mind already had been very active. And then I started in a totally new direction. I became a coach, a life coach and a job coach. And I chose a direction or this education was not only body, it was body, mind, and soul directed. So it was creative counseling and coaching. I really loved that with visualizations and all kinds of things. And there I found out my mission. My mission is to shine and help people to shine. So writing this book, Shine, is totally in alignment with my mission. So when I did my visualization about finding my mission, it's a visualization that I also use with my clients. I had to climb on a mountain with a lot of obstacles on the way. And at the end, on the top of this mountain, God or source or whatever you want to call it was giving me a symbol of my mission. And what I received was a treasure box with beautiful, how you say, gems on top. It was already looking beautiful from the outside, but the present was within. Because when I opened the box, this whole shining light came out of this treasure box. And it was making me like, really, I was so humble, like, whoa, this is big. Is this really my mission? Is it to shine? And it is. My whole body said, yes, it is. And then I knew I'm going to share about this mission, of course, because that's the aim of Shine, is you have to spread the light. And I'm going to write a book about it. It's called The Art of Shining from Within, and it's going to be a journey, and I'm going to interview all kinds of people about what makes them shine. So that was the first step, and that's also what I did. A couple of years later, I published my first book together with a philosopher, with all kinds of interviews of famous Dutch people about what made them shine and what to do when life is not that bright, when things are coming on your way. How do you keep on standing in your way and living your life? So that was the first book.
Nice, nice. I love it. Incredible. And yeah, I love how you call it your mission. And it is to shine, because in the end of the day, we didn't come here to suffer. We come here to live in joy and happiness. And the sooner we discover that, the better. So now your second book in English, Shine. Do you want to talk more about that?
Yes, of course. Yeah, the second book was together with you, Divine Love. And that was the first time I wrote in English, because before I would have never have thought about writing a book in English. But yeah, the book Shine, it all started with an inner desire. Like the publisher Mary Gooden, she asked me, "Hey Marlys, isn't it time for you to write your own solo book?" And my whole body said yes, and my mind said, saying yes too, please. But I did. I said yes, because I listened to the voice from within. That I said yes, and I don't know what it's going to be in there, but I know it's going to be authentic, and I just give it room from trust. I'm open to receive whatever may be said or want to be said through my pen. So, the funny thing, I love to be active with my body. I mean, to do workout, to go in nature, and to do kinds of, we call it eccentrics, it's kind of dancing, yoga, or music, something like that. I don't know if you heard about it, but anyway, I love it with a group of women. And what I noticed every time when I did these kind of practices, And when I was out in nature, then my creativity started flowing. So when I knew that, I always took another hour. I blocked another hour after these lessons to write, to play, just to be in nature or anywhere where, if it was raining, of course, I was inside. But anyway, just to have my notebook and a pen and just play and see what came. And afterwards, I went home to my computer and I wrote the stories. Or, yeah, it was evolving. I didn't know what, only a title. I had the symbol of the sun. And then the stories came, they popped up. Shall I tell you about the shine, the letters, what happened?
Of course, please, go ahead.
It was so, because I really had no idea. I was writing this song, I was drawing these songs, and the stories came up. And all I knew, like, let's see, I'm open to receive, let's see what happens. And one day I was in the plane to Mallorca, where we have an apartment, and I love to be there, I love to write there, and it's a beautiful spot. Anyway, I was in this plane and playing with the word shine, and then at once these things came up, like the S from shine is soul, and the H is heart, and the I, intuition, of course. The N is now, and the E is evolve. And then I looked at all the stories that I had been written, and you know what? They all fell in place in these 5 categories, like it was meant to be.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I could have never, if I had tried to figure this out with my mind before I started writing, I would have never come up this brilliant idea. It was really like a present. Just bubbled up. Yeah. So I'm learning a lot of this creative journey as well, really.
It's when you open yourself up, when you allow yourself to be like that, like you schedule the time when you had a class, and then you're gonna be inspired, and like blocking that time and going for it, not just kind of, oh, I have to be here, I have to go, I gotta do.
Exactly.
Instead, you allowed yourself for that room to create, and something beautiful had happened as a result.
More beautiful than I would have ever been able to do when I was using the whip, like you have to produce, and then it would have been a totally different book. Yeah, I really believe that.
You're right.
And the journey wouldn't have been that much fun. Now our journey was, I met you, I had fun writing it. I was also discovering things which I love. Yeah. And the funny thing, a lot of people, when they start writing, they think, oh, I need more information. And they start reading a lot of books and watching podcasts or listening to podcasts and do all kind of like more information, like put it in. And then they get overwhelmed and don't know where to start. I often hear that it's too much information. And at the end, you don't know anymore what you want to say. What I did when I decided to write this book, I thought, okay, I'm not reading or not searching for any other information than the information that's already in my treasure box. The thing I'm going to do is being as authentic as possible, as pure as possible. I didn't drink any drop of alcohol in these 2 years that I was writing. I wanted to be as pure facilitator as possible. Not reading other people's things, not really pure. So that was my journey.
Beautiful. What was the most difficult part about writing in English?
In English, well, the strange thing is that I immediately, when the stories came up, they were in English. I didn't know. It happened. So I didn't translate from Dutch to English. It was just in English. In fact, I don't think there's going to be a Dutch book, because then you have to translate it in reverse. It'd be strange. Yeah.
You're right. Awesome. Do you like to read a little bit from your book?
Yeah, sure. Would you like to hear the story of the starfish?
Please. My favorite.
Yeah, I thought so. This is also intuitive. I know. I took the book. I put a little note paper with starfish, and now you're asking it. Okay, that's so much fun. Okay, starfish. Starfish, my magical encounter with a starfish. Have you ever heard of the octopus teacher? It's an amazing documentary on Netflix about a man's unusual friendship with an octopus in South Africa. I love this documentary from 2020, and I would never have thought that a couple of years later I would experience my own magical encounter with an animal in the sea. Let me tell you my true story of how a normal day turned into a magical one. It was in Mallorca, the biggest island of the Balearic group in Spain, where we had an apartment close to the sea. Not had, we have an apartment close to the sea. Every day I start my day with a refreshing dive in the sea, preferably even before breakfast, when it's still quiet and peaceful. One morning, when I walked to our bay, a big secluded bay surrounded by mountains, I found myself lucky. I was the only one at the beach, and I had the whole bay for myself. The sea lay before me calm and clear, just perfect. I had a nice swim, and while swimming, I thought about the conversation of the day before I had with a Spanish friend. We talked about the changes in nature, how the beaches used to be filled with beautiful shells, and about the sea full of starfishes. We both remembered how we used to dive for starfishes in the shallow water. They were black and yellow. We used to pick them up, admire them for a short moment, and let them free again in the sea. I have not seen a starfish in so many years, I said. I really miss them. I swam to shallow water where I could stand, and suddenly I saw her, a beautiful starfish. I stood still and could not believe my eyes. Starfish, you are still there. I am so happy to see you. I heard myself talking out loud to the starfish. My whole body was filled with gratitude, love, and joy. I felt so happy. I stood still and watched her trekking in the direction of the deeper sea. But suddenly she stood still and changed her direction towards me. I was standing with my mouth open, watching what was happening. She came closer and closer until she reached my foot. Slowly she moved one of her arms on my red toenail, and then another arm and another arm, until she totally sat on my foot. I could not believe what was happening. I could feel her tiny chubby feet tickling on my foot. It felt as if she was embracing me, and the tears rolled over my cheeks. At that moment, it felt like we were one, connected. Time stood still when we were standing there together. It was an utterly moment of being. Have you ever experienced something like that? I don't know how long we stood there in togetherness, but at a certain moment she slowly moved her 5 arms from my foot back into the sand and went her own way. The whole day I felt like I was flying and filled with gratitude. I realized I would never forget this moment. It will always be a part of me, a reminder that we are all connected. Well, this was my octopus teacher moment, and I'm still grateful for this experience. A year later, I found myself in the same bay. It was clearly it was in the morning. I was having my last swim in the sea just before heading to the airport to go home. I started thinking about the story above when I spotted a starfish. I stopped and just watched, and again something special happened. This starfish turned her path again from the direction to the sea and started to move towards me. I could not believe it. What was happening there? Was it the same starfish as last time? The starfish came my way until she reached my feet. She went from one foot to the other, almost touching it, then slowly continued her path in between my legs. I thought, what a beautiful way of saying goodbye to me. For me, these wonderful things are all signs of the magic and the power of love. This goes beyond people. it also includes animals and nature in general. I truly believe this force is so much stronger than we realize. There is more than we can see. Don't you agree? And then I have some questions. Have you ever experienced something like that? Did you?
I
Irina,
have.
did you? No. If you do, then think back of your magical moment. What pops up in your mind? What do you see, feel, and hear? And journal about your insights. You know, all the stories, they always end with some reflection questions. Always. Because it's a beautiful way of making people more aware and reflect on their, on the beauty of life, about their insights, and making them more aware of their inner sound.
Yeah, I love this story. It's so beautiful and
Oh,
magical,
thank you.
and that we are all connected in one way or another, and being able to experience that magic and then feel from the inside. And I love
Yeah.
that each chapter you have reflections. I think it's so powerful to kind of understand the message and then seek within yourself if you had such an experience. Think back how you felt in that moment and who you were in that moment. So beautiful.
Thank you.
So where people can find your book?
They can find my book, from this Thursday, June 26th. It will be possible to order it on Amazon, and there are links to all the countries in the world. They can directly order it on Amazon from their own country and get it delivered immediately. So, and it's going to be on ebook and a printed book. Yeah.
Very nice. Very well. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there something I haven't asked that you would like to share?
Well, that I also have a new website, Shine Your Light Academy. And there are going to be mentorships, programs in English and in Dutch. But I think most people who listen to your podcast are usually in English. Yeah, they want English, but I also definitely do my programs in English. And there are going to be events, and I'm thinking about organizing retreats next year. So beautiful places. So who knows? We can connect live or online. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I loved it. If people would like to connect with you and learn more about you, where would they go?
Sorry, once again, when people...
If you want to say your website or your social media, if people like to connect with you, where would they
sure.
go?
Welcome. Anywhere. I'm everywhere. Well, of course, my website is shineyourlightacademy.com. That's easy. And I'm also on Facebook, on my own name, and on Instagram and on LinkedIn. So people can find me. And it's all on my own name, Marlys Stradmeijer. And welcome. Love to connect.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. And I love your book. I think Shine is so beautiful. Your lessons that you're connecting with your body and listening to your intuition. And in the end of the day, taking control of your life, because we can all do that. We're only one decision away from changing a life for the better. It's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Loved it.